Hey everyone, Mah-Dry-Bread here. Pokemon Fire Red with only one Chansey was a brutal solo run, so let's follow that up with a brutal team run. Today's the day that we figure out would I be able to beat Pokemon Emerald with our rivals' team and moves. So here's our rivals' endgame team. Yeah, that's right, even at the end of the game, May and Brendan never fully evolve Slugma or Grovyle. Now, obviously, there's 3 different versions of this team depending on what starter we pick, but the other 2 are way worse than this. By picking the grass starter, we keep from having to use a nearly useless Ludicolo. Plus, Grovyle's Leaf Blade is the best move on any of the starters on the rivals team. Mind you, it only has 70 power in this game, not 90, so it's still kinda weak. Believe it or not, but May's Ruby team is better than her Emerald one, so this is extra hard. Like always, I'm writing the script as I go through the challenge, so all this part is being written before I've started. Everyone comment down below and guess if I can win or not. I can probably win at some insanely high level just by brute force, but our rivals team is borderline useless. It's basically just up to Tropius and Grovyle to win with 2 grass moves. Let's explain the rules. In combat, I can only use our rivals' Pokemon and moves. I'll need other Pokemon to use HMs, but I won't be allowed to use any of those Pokemon in battle. No glitches or exploits, no items in battle, only Pokeballs, held items, and items outside of combat are allowed. Also, if you enjoyed this video, be sure to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more. Let's do this. No need for the randomizer this time, I just picked up our Trico. Our nature is modest, that's more special attack and less regular attack. I restarted until I got a special attack nature, since I'm pretty sure that Leaf Blade is going to be our best attack the entire game, so I want to make sure that we're good with it. It only took 2 tries to get this nature though, so that was nice. Early game travel. Normally there's nothing to do early on, but the first Pokemon that we need to catch is actually on one of the first routes of the game. We need a Wingull. Now, we can only ever teach it moves that our rivals' Pokemon had, and no matter what, we have to get to its final moveset before the end, so this Wingull is only ever going to know Wing Attack and Water Gun for damaging moves, and we have to ditch Water Gun at some point too. Considering Pelipper isn't a physical attacker, it's not going to be that great in the long run. Still, we need one, and these are the only 2 members of our team until after the Electric Gym. At least we have Absorb and Water Gun on the team early, so Rock Gym shouldn't be an issue for once. I'm really not looking forward to the Electric Gym later down the line, though. So the Rock Gym started off pretty easy, other than the part where I started learning Pursuit and had to go look up to see what move I was supposed to replace. Nosepass took a little while to take down thanks to an ocean of potions, but we still won in the end. We even evolved during the process. That's pretty cool. We're never allowed to fully evolve, but it's better than nothing. So next we have to travel to the Fighting Gym. Maybe it could be worth having a Wingull use Wing Attack, but honestly, I'm not sure it's worth the effort of leveling it up. We have a bad attack nature on a low attack Pokemon, and it would only be using Wing Attack. I'm sure I'd do way more if I just invest in Grovyle right now instead. First try at the Fighting Gym went awful. Like, so awful that we didn't even make it past the Machop that we were a higher level than. That's about as bad as it gets. Let's try the rival fight and come back later. So I tried the rival fight a few more times, but it's just brutal. Often we faint to the Wingull at the start because of Wing Attack, and anytime we get past it, we get destroyed by Kabuskin, who's got both Peck and Ember to take us down with. Our Wingull is starting to catch up in levels thanks to an experience share, but it's still pretty awful. I hope I don't have to grind all the way till I get Leaf Blade just to win this one fight. At level 24, Grovyle ends up being able to take out the Fighting Gym on his own. I've been using an experience share on Wingull to level him up for this fight, but we ended up just winning by spamming Absorb. I'm kinda surprised that worked. Right after, I went back to the rival and leveling up this Wingull finally paid off. Grovyle can't take down Kabuskin, but Wingull does easily, and the rest of our team is just awful, so we win. Finally! Now, it's time for a whole lot of grinding. We have the Electric Gym, then Maxie, then the Fire Gym. The Electric and the Fire Gyms are generally pretty hard, but considering the Pokemon we have, it's gonna be extra hard. The Electric Gym might not be horrible if we just over-level, but then we have Maxie in the Fire Gym, and our best Pokemon is Grass type. I kinda don't think Wingull is just gonna sweep them with Water Gun, so some serious leveling is required. During the grind, Wingull evolved and learned Protect. I'm supposed to get rid of Water Gun, but I got rid of Mist instead. I only have to end the run with all the right moves after all. And this game has the move reminder, so I can hold on to Water Gun until after the Fire Gym and then switch it for Protect sometime before the Elite Four. So my script just has the word add here, and I have nothing written in for this, because I have nothing lined up right now, of course. So I'm just gonna go ahead and say that you can all go check out my Patreon if you want to, linked in the description of all of my videos, and I'll just edit this out and replace it with an ad later if I end up getting an ad I like later. This is probably gonna stay Patreon. Wow, the electric gym was pretty easy. It really surprised me, but Leaf Blade did an awesome job. We got paralyzed and easily could have messed it all up in the end, but we just never lost a turn. That was lucky. Hey, it's time for another member of the team. We can catch a Slugma now. Now, we're never allowed to evolve it, and all of its moves are awful, but at least we're allowed to have it know Yawn early on. It forgets it at some point though, so by the end, it'll have Ember, Rock Throw, Harden, and Amnesia. Basically useless. Maxie and the Fire Gym are coming up, and I'm really not feeling good about this. I slapped an experience share on Slugma so we could start leveling up in case Rock Throw can save us in the Fire Gym. I don't have high hopes. Wish me luck. You know, I really thought Maxie was going to be really difficult, but it was actually pretty easy. Water took out his only fire type easily. I'm not going to have that easy of a time in the Fire Gym, though, right? First is Numel, who was a one-shot with Water Gun, and second was Slugma, who wasn't a one-shot, and started Sunny Day. That's not good. That's not only going to power up fire moves, but it weakens water ones. At least he used a full restore, so we got to waste an extra turn of Harsh Sunlight. For Camerupt, I used Protect to waste more of the sun, then Water Gun for pretty good damage. Once the sunlight faded, we took him down with very little damage taken. Last is her Torkoal though, and this thing is a beast. Water Gun does alright damage, but then she made it sunny again, so I tried to buy time with Protect. Water Gun really wasn't doing much anymore, and Overheat nearly took us down. I was able to get her to red health, but then she used a Hyper Potion, finished off Pelipper, and all I could do was throw Slugma and Grovyle at it to get destroyed. I'm gonna have to get stronger and maybe have a new strategy. After a handful of levels later, and we can finally sweep our way to Torkoal with Water Gun. Right away we hit Water Gun to deal almost half of her health and damage, as her Body Slam just didn't do that much to us. The second Water Gun brought her to red health, but she made it sunny, then healed, so once again, dealing less damage. Protect, of course, to try and run out the clock, followed by more Water Gun for any damage we could deal, and a crit really helped us. We ended up taking her into red health again as she finished us off with Overheat. I sent in Slugma to use Yawn since I knew that she would just heal with a potion, and it worked! We got her to not only waste her second Overheat to lower her damage output, but she also fell asleep so Grovyle could start laying in Leaf Blades. It took a few hits, but Torkoal never woke up. Finally, we can go do the normal gym. But on our way there, I took the Root Fossil. I knew that if I didn't say what I took, you'd all ask. Actually, now that I think about it, everyone asks anyway. Comments are good for the YouTube algorithm. Normal gym was super easy. The only threat here was Slacking, but I have Protect with Pelipper and he has Truant, so I can easily just Protect on the only turns where he can attack us. We couldn't have lost this fight, really. Hey, only one more rival fight till we get a new Pokemon. And of course, May does almost no damage to our entire team. The only hard rival fight in this game is the one under the cycling road. I know it'll shock you to find out, but May just isn't that good a trainer in this game. That's kind of why we're using her team, because she's bad. Time for another new Pokemon, and this is actually the only decent one. In the final optional rival fight that we basically never do in these runs, May has a Tropius, so we get one. Now, two of its moves are Sweet Scent and Whirlwind, so pretty much duds, but Stomp and Magical Leaf will be usable. Not that it has Magical Leaf yet, but it'll get it. At least Tropius is a good Pokemon. Plus, the final boss is a water trainer, so I appreciate the extra grass type. Next up is the Flying Gym though, and our best Pokemon are grass type. I don't really have high hopes for this one. Swablu was first, and it mostly wastes time with stuff like Safeguard and Mirror Move, so I fought it with our new Tropius. It's actually kind of annoying since she's faster than us and can make us flinch with our own stomps. But, you know, it paid off in the end. We got her weakest Pokemon to waste one of her Hyper Potions. Part of the way through the fight, she randomly switched to Skarmory though, so we just got taken down. I sent in Slugma next hoping that we could land Ember, and we actually did pretty good damage. We even got a crit on the second one to get a knockout that I thought for sure we wouldn't have gotten otherwise. That's super important. Out to Grovyle for Pelipper, and we naturally take it down pretty easily. All it did was miss Supersonic. As Swablu came back out, I had Grovyle easily finish it with Leaf Blade, since it didn't have full health anyway. Out to Pelipper for Tropius. She used Sunny Day and Solar Beam to take a good chunk of our health out, in between using her Hyper Potions, of course. We ended up knocking it out with about a third of our health left. Last is Altaria, and this thing is terrifying. Our moves are awful against it. I started with Screech on Grovyle to try and lower its defense, as it really messed us up with Aerial Ace. Quick Attack did pretty good damage, but we got taken out. Pelipper hung on with 2 health and was able to finish it after switching in. Honestly, I don't know if we'd have won this if not for that critical Ember earlier in the fight. With that done, it's time to hit the road again. So next we have an optional rival fight that we normally don't do, but I figure it fits with the theme of this challenge, then the Maxi fight, and the Psychic Gym. Now the Psychic Gym is always horrible. You might think it'll be less horrible since we won't be outnumbered for once, and we have some grass types, but I still don't really feel great about it. Most of our Pokemon aren't good, and they have Earthquake, so I still don't really see us winning until I can one-shot at least some of them. Maxi though, I'm not sure. Maybe Pelipper can handle that. Hey, it's time for the optional rival fight. First was her Tropius, who Pelipper took out easily, and second was her Pelipper, so we just used Grovyle to take it out easily. It never even tried a wing attack, just protect for some reason. Next was Kabuskin, who went down in a couple of water guns without hurting us. Last was her Ludicolo. So just to show you how awful her Ludicolo is and why we didn't use it, I have my Tropius that I have hardly leveled at all, just beat her Ludicolo by spamming Stomp while being the slower Pokemon. May, your team is just the worst. I don't think this Ludicolo has a move that has more than 20 power. It's really, really bad. The first try, the Maxi fight, did not go nearly as well. I actually tried this a bunch of times, and here's our best attempt. Crobat is an absolute beast, being able to take out Grovyle easily with a wing attack. I threw my whole team at it, and I managed to make it faint once, but then Camerupt was easily able to finish us off. I really need Pelipper to not faint before we get to Camerupt, but none of the rest of my team stands a chance against Crobat. I can't believe I have to do this, but I think I actually have to specifically grind a Pelipper just for this fight. Maybe it'll pay off for the Psychic Gym too, if I'm lucky. About 5 levels later, I tried Maxi a few more times and found that if I throw my entire team but Pelipper at Crobat first, then I can finish off Crobat with at least half of our health left. It only takes 1 water gun to finish the fight after Crobat goes down, so we finally got a much needed win. Last bit of travel before the Psychic Gym, and you'd better believe I'm getting every last level that I can. The funny thing is, I kind of feel like after the Psychic Gym we might be on a little bit of a roll for a while. The last gym is the Water Gym, so it probably won't be too hard, and Archie shouldn't be that hard either. Wally is never an issue, so that leaves the Elite Four. Yeah, I'm sure they'll be really hard, but the final boss is a Water-type trainer. I honestly think that I stand a pretty good chance just because our best Pokemon are Grass types. Wish me luck going into the Psychic Gym. Okay, so these double battles are always a little bit hard to recap, so I'll go over the general strategy here. We lucked out with a critical hit to take out Claydol in 1 hit on this try, but on most tries we don't. So that's why I open with Grovyle and Pelipper, so that his Earthquake just doesn't do that much to our party. Right away, I focus on trying to take down everything that isn't Xatu first, since we can usually one-shot the ground and rock types, or at least come very close to it. But on some runs, Xatu powers up with Calm Mind too much and just starts one-shotting with Psychic, or coming very close to it. It's actually really common that we ended up having a 2-on-1 fight against their Xatu for a long time, and then we still lose. We even got Xatu to a sliver with a lucky crit, but they just use Hyper Potions and then overpower us. like multiple times in the same battle. It's unreal. I know a lot of this fight is luck, but if I just had a few more levels and a bunch of tries, then we could totally win this. Okay, almost a dozen tries later, and we finally get this run where once again we throw our entire team at Xatu, but this time we were just hardly able to win. That was probably the least awful Psychic Gym fight we've ever had. And it was still awful. Hey, last bit of travel before the Elite Four. We have Archie, who shouldn't be too hard as long as Crobat doesn't mess us up. Then the Water Gym, that should be easy. And Wally, who's always pretty easy. After that is the Elite Four, and I'm kind of worried about them, but at least the Pokemon Champion will go well if I can get to him. Let's worry about getting there first. It's time for the only Archie fight in the game. This battle was all about the Crobat since it's his only real threat. Like usual, I had to throw a few Pokemon at it to soften him up before going in for the finishing move, since it double resists grass. And honestly, it goes fine on the first try. I think Archie has only really given me issues in like one challenge. So the Water Gym took a couple of tries thanks to Double Team on Kingdra, but on the winning run, we literally didn't even get hit. It's nice to have an easy gym for once. Next is the almost always easy Wally fight, but he starts with an Altaria, and that thing is just about custom made to mess up our team. I tried opening with Slugma to hit a rock throw, and we did, but it did pretty much a sliver. Once Tropius came out, we hit Stomp, and he spammed Dragon Dance to get faster and stronger. After he got 3 in and wasted another turn with Safeguard, then one-shot us with a crit. I don't think it needed that crit, to be honest. Pelipper almost finished it early, when he used a full restore, and then more Dragon Dances. We got a lucky crit to take it to low health, we got knocked to a sliver, we hit him down to a sliver, then we fainted. Next, I just had Grovyle tag in and use Quick Attack to finish it. Now, believe it or not, but that was the only hard part of the fight. The entire rest of the fight was pretty easy. That's Wally for you, though. Okay, last thing we have to do before the Elite Four is we actually have a couple of moves we need to learn. I missed out on Fairy Cutter by accident earlier on Grovyle, and I still need to replace Water Gun with Mist on Pelipper before our team properly matches Maze. That really sucks because Water Gun has been surprisingly useful this run, and our Pelipper is probably going to be nearly useless after losing it due to his nature, but we got no choice. I used some heart scales at the move reminders place to top up our moveset to what it needs to be to finish the run. Now that we're at the Elite Four, let's take a look at the team. Well, the moves are all what they should be, but they're pretty awful. I got a PowerPoint max back in the Megma base, so I think I'll use that on Leaf Blade just to get a few more uses of it. I don't see us possibly winning this below level 50, so I'm gonna grind the rest of the team up to that level before I start making attempts. I mean, other than Slugma. Sorry, Slugma, you are useless. Make your final guesses on if we can win this or not. Let's do this. First is Dark Trainer Sydney. I was pretty worried after I saw how much damage Mightyena did to Grovyle right at the start, but he just used a full restore, and I think we can win in 2 hits, so at least we only got hit once. Absol ended up being a one-shot. I think that was just thanks to a crit though, so we got lucky. After that was Shift Tree, and this easily could have gone horribly, but we lucked out. He used Swagger to boost our attack, but confuse us. We didn't hit ourselves, so the attack boost let us one-shot him with Wing Attack. Not only that, but next was Cacturn. We hit ourselves, and he lowered our speed, and hit Feint Attack, but it just didn't do that much. Our Wing Attack one-shot him too. Last was Crawdaunt, who was of course a one-shot with Leaf Blade. Not a bad start. A little bit lucky though. Second is Ghost Trainer Phoebe. This is just one of those battles where no one has any kind of type advantage, so all we can really do is throw our team at them using our strongest moves and hope for the best. We lose, of course, but we got about halfway through each time. I'm in a weird situation where I'm not really sure what the best idea is. Either just keep leveling Grovyle a ton and maybe Pelipper a little bit just to cover what Grovyle can't, or if I should bother training up Tropius as well for the extra tankiness and those stomps. Not the stomps on the Ghost, of course, but I mean Elite Four in general. Either way, I'm not training Slugma. We all know that'll be a waste of time. I'll just try leveling Grovyle and Pelipper first. I'll be back. Okay, I got about 5 levels on both of them, and now we can make it all the way to the last Bayonet just by spamming our best moves. Sometimes that's just from the luck of them using Curse though, so it's not really that consistent. You know what, Tropius actually did pretty well for us that time. I'm gonna grind him up a little. Okay, another handful of levels later, and we finally get a win after an entire 8 tries. It turns out there's actually a ton of luck here on if anyone uses Curse, if Rock Slide hits, and if we have to deal with Ice Beam or not. It took tons of tries where we almost got to the end before I finally got this big win. Third is Ice Trainer Glacia. So I did this fight like 10 times, and every single time we come agonizingly close to winning. The Celios are one-shot, but Walrein isn't, so I have to soften it up with Pelipper first. I tried using a Tropius at all different stages of this fight, but it's slow and it gets one-shot by basically any ice move, so it's pretty useless. At the end are 2 Glalie, and we can mess them up with Grovile's Leaf Blade, but they easily finish us off with Ice Beam every time. We literally are one shot away from winning the fight on every single attempt, and I just can't seem to win. I can't believe that I have to level for this. Well, I guess the Dragon Trainer is right after this though, so we'll need those levels anyway. That dragon fight's gonna be bad. Okay, a bunch of levels later, and the entire fight are one-shots with Leaf Blade until the Glalies. The first one goes down easy in 2 shots, but the second one has to get weakened first or it'll easily finish off Grovyle with Ice Beam. So I throw Pelipper at it instead, soften it up with wing attacks until we faint, then had Grovyle tag in to finish it off. This progress isn't gonna last long though. Fourth is Dragon Trainer Drake. First is Shelgon, who didn't hit us, but second was Flygon, who despite being part ground type, managed to survive and hit Flamethrower for a lot of damage before we 2-shot it. Next is Altaria, and I knew this was going to be brutal because Altaria's been an issue every time I've run into it this whole challenge run. Hilariously enough though, we took it out with Pelipper without taking much damage thanks to a critical wing attack and them taking recoil damage. Once Salamence came out though, oh, we got shut down. He has moves that are super effective against our entire team, he's a pseudo-legendary, and he double resists grass. This is easily gonna be the strongest single Pokemon that we have to beat to win this run. I threw my whole team at it, and it nearly swept them. Not a single one of our moves could do more than maybe 1/10 of his health and damage, and that just means that he'll for sure use a full restore once his health gets low. We need to be strong enough to take him from yellow health all the way to none, or the battle will go on far too long to survive. Our effort values are already maxed out, and we're not allowed new moves, so I think it's time that we crack out the rare candy. We're beating this run today. So, I try again with Grovyle at level 75, and Pelipper and Tropius all the way at level 70. Did we win? Of course not. We got destroyed like it was nothing. Maybe if I crit 5 times in a row, I could have won, but somehow I don't think that's gonna happen. Okay, everyone at level 80. Yes, even Slugma. This fight was insane. Let's fast forward our way to Salamence since it was pretty standard getting there. We just took some damage on some of our team. For Salamence, I started with Slugma so that we can eat up the attack loss from Intimidate. We did a bit of damage before going down. Next was Tropius, and we actually weren't taking much damage from Flamethrower, so I just kept stomping. It didn't get us the knockout, but we did get him to use a full restore, so at least there's that. Once Grovyle came in, I assumed I'd lose since Leaf Blade was almost doing nothing, and we just weren't critting. We got knocked out fast. All we had left is Pelipper with half health, so I switched in, and a wing attack took him to a sliver. We lost a good chunk from Rock Slide, but he was out of full restores, so we finished him off. Last was Kingdra, and we have 1 Pokemon with 75 health left. Wing attack hit, we took a bit of damage off Surf. Our second wing attack brought him to red health, as he used Dragon Dance to get faster and stronger. He hit Body Slam, we survived with only 11 health, and then we finished him off. That was so close, it was unreal. I can't believe how horrible that fight was. Oh, I'm happy it's over. Finally, the Pokemon champion Wallace. This was a lot harder than I expected. Wailord was first, he just went down in 1 Leaf Blade, good start. Melodic is next, and although we 2-shot it easily, we got hit by Toxic, so we can't use Grovyle too much. Next is Tentacruel, so I switched to Pelipper, and we got hit by Toxic on it too. We did good damage, but he has full restores, so it took a while to actually take Tentacruel down, and we lost Pelipper in the process. Thanks to him using 2 full restores, we had to switch back to Grovyle to finish it off, and we took a ton of damage in the process. Because of that, I had to switch to Tropius to use Magical Leaf on Ludicolo. It doesn't do amazing damage, but he was using Double Team, and Magical Leaf doesn't miss, so all we took was a little bit of damage from Surf. Second from last is Whiscash, who was a one-shot with Magical Leaf, and last was Water Onyx, who hardly hurt us at all with Surf, so we took him out. It only took a few tries, but we've got a win. With that win, we go into the Hall of Fame and win the run, but you know it's not over yet. Gen 3 has a post-game fight with Steven Stone. Now, our team is incredibly, hilariously bad, and his is pretty good, so I don't think we stand a chance. So let's have some fun with this. I got 20 minutes to burn before I have to go get some other stuff done. I'm gonna drown my Pokemon in rare candies until they're all level 100, even the Slugma, and then try the Steven Stone fight. Is it even possible for May's team to beat Steven? Okay, this one is crazy. Right away, Skarmory uses Spikes, so it hurts to switch Pokemon, but our first Ember really messed him up, so he had to use a full restore. He still hit Aerial Ace before going down though, so we lost some health. Sorry, it's Metagross, but I wrote Meat Ross. Meat Ross was next, and this thing is a monster. Took us out right away. I hit it once with Magical Leaf, saw it do almost no damage. Then he switched to Cradilly, and I have no idea why. Magical Leaf crit it right away for great damage, so I just used it again to nearly take it out. We took damage, but we finished it off right after. Why did he switch from something that was destroying us to something that we could easily beat? That was nuts. Anyway, next is Claydol, so we're out to Grovyle to one-shot it. Shame I have to take spike damage in the process. For Armaldo, I had Pelipper use Wing Attack. We did good damage, but his Ancient Power was pretty good. We got him to red health, but he finished us off, so I had to send Grovyle back in, but he just full restored back up while I did it. Thankfully, we're faster, so we can two-shot him, so he's down. Next is Aggron, and he's pretty weak to Leaf Blade, so we two-shot him after he did almost nothing with Earthquake. He even wasted what I think was his last full restore. His very last Pokemon is here though, and it's the Metagross that he stopped using earlier. It totally destroyed us, and nothing on our team even stood a chance. Honestly, he could have opened with Metagross and we still wouldn't have beaten it. The only reason I got this far is because he switched away from it for seemingly no reason. We never stood a chance. I was a weird one. I didn't really know what to expect, to be honest. Yeah, our team is awful, but I thought it would be harder than that. I'm shocked that Pelipper was anything more than dead weight by the end. I really hope you guys liked that run. The next Pokemon Challenge should be up next week on Saturday like usual, with Pokemon Fire Red with 1 Meditite. As always, I'm looking forward to your suggestions in the comments in the challenge request section of my Discord channel and on Twitter. Subscribe, ring the bell, stay tuned. It's time for the outro, and I don't know what to ramble about, so I guess I'll just ramble about the newest news. As I started recording this voiceover, news broke from Twitch TV that they have new guidelines on how you're supposed to do your own private sponsorships and what they'll allow. Basically, this is one of the many Twitch updates of they don't like when their creators make money without Twitch getting a cut. This is insane. The news just broke, so it's probably going to get walked back by the time that this video actually comes out, but everyone on Twitter is just threatening to leave Twitch, and honestly, I don't blame them. I will gladly lead the charge on that one. I like Twitch as like a platform, I guess. I like streaming to it. I like not having all my eggs in one basket, but undeniably, every time I've ever streamed on YouTube, I get way more viewers here than I do ever on Twitch. So they should be lucky that I stream over there at all. They make all these ridiculous rules that they want you to follow, but no other website makes these rules. You notice how YouTube never made a rule about what kind of sponsorships you can and can't do, as long as it doesn't break the rules of the website itself, and as long as you disclose it. You know what? When I upload these challenge videos, there's a little checkbox that you check off if you have paid advertisements in your video, just to make it as easy as possible to disclose to your viewers that you have a sponsorship. YouTube makes that easy for you. Twitch just tells you not to do sponsorships unless they get a cut. It's gotta be real tiny, and it's only gotta be the exact things that they allow because they want to be brought to the negotiation table. They don't understand that this drives people away. They don't understand that they're the platform. Nobody goes to Twitch for the platform. They go for the creators. If Twitch loses its creators, then no one uses the platform anymore. They don't seem to get that. Any of you streamers, career streamers, YouTubers, anyone who are watching right now, who either are doing this for a living currently, or you're getting close to that point and that's what your goal is, you gotta always remember to have a backbone. I feel like a lot of creators don't when they first get started because they understand they're small and they don't really have weight to throw around or anything like that. But you gotta remember that the people who are watching you like you, and they're watching you for what you do, not just because you're on YouTube or not just because you're on Twitch. If they're continuing to watch time by time, it's less about where you are. They may have just found you there. They're tuning back in because they like what you're doing. So don't forget to have a backbone. When Twitch makes these rules that are stupid and don't make any sense, and you know that you could go stream on YouTube and get more viewers anyway, then just don't comply to their rule. What's the worst they can do? Ban you? You know, back before I was even making minimum wage on this, when I was doing my daily videos for a decade, I used to stream tons. Even before Twitch TV existed, I streamed tons. Over 1,000 streams, of course, over the course of that decade, probably much more than that. And you know when my best years of growth were? My best years of growth on streaming were the last 3 years, even though I've streamed probably 30 or 40 times in the last 3 years. Far, far, far less than the decade of streams I was doing before that. You know why? It's because I have a YouTube channel, and in like a few of the early challenge videos I did, I brought up that I had a Twitch. That's it. You bring it up that your Twitch exists in passing with a clickable link in just a few YouTube videos that do decently well, not any of my biggest ones, and I still get new followers on Twitch every single day without fail for years. Every time I stream, people come in and say, "This is my first time here," and they always have a fun time. And you know they're gonna have a fun time because they already know that they like my show from YouTube, so of course they're gonna like my show on Twitch. It's not about the platform. A lot of these guys signed up because they didn't even watch Twitch before this. They just wanted to see my stream. Well, you know what? All you guys watching right now who have your own audiences, you got loads of people who like you too. And they just want to watch you wherever you are. So they just, you just gotta let them know where you are. And I can guarantee, if you're a Twitch streamer and you just put like highlighted clips of funny bits from your streams on your YouTube channel, that is gonna advertise your Twitch channel better than Twitch ever will. You remember a couple weeks ago when I did one of these outros and I talked about a Twitch streamer that I found because one of her stream VODs got put on YouTube and got advertised to me on my homepage despite only having 9 views at the time? Yeah, she's grown since then because I brought it up. Why did I bring it up? Because of 2 things. 1, YouTube showed me her video on the homepage, otherwise I wouldn't have discovered it. I never found it on Twitch. I found her YouTube page and that's how I found her Twitch. Just like I recommend to people. And the other reason that she blew up in viewers is because I talked about her. Because I found her on YouTube, I went to the stream, she was live, and it was a fun stream, so I talked about it. Word of mouth. This is the other thing that I always talk about, is people talk about how do you grow? Be so awesome that people want to share your show with their friends. That's the most organic way to grow in a small way that the people who join in and start watching will continue to watch, because then they can go back and talk to their friends about it. And if their friends have similar senses of humor, then they're likely to like you as well. Sorry, I'm just dropping all this great YouTuber info. I have no idea how useful this is to you guys, and how many of you guys think this is all self-explanatory, but I hope this information has been useful to some of you. If you have a Twitch channel and you want to grow, think of it this way. If you're just a Twitch streamer, then you are growing whenever you're live. And you're only live so many hours a week. But if you have a YouTube channel with some videos that advertise your Twitch channel in some way, then you're growing 24/7, because that video is still going to get pushed out to different people of different time zones, even while you're off air, even while you're asleep. And so you'll continue to grow. That's why you have to have a YouTube channel. You gotta understand, a lot of people don't even know what Twitch is. But everybody on Twitch knows what YouTube is. Everybody on Twitch already has a YouTube account. Of course they do. It's like the #2 website in the world. So of course they're gonna have an account. Anyway, this was a really long outro about just a topical thing, but I hope this information was informative to you, was useful to you. And if you want any more of these great big-brained, long-brained YouTuber tips, I ramble about this stuff all the time on my Twitter. So if you ever want to see my long threads giving you little YouTube tips of healthier ways to think about your channel and good ways to take care of your sanity while doing your videos and your streams, check out my Twitch page. Twitch page? My Twitter page. I mean, you can check out my Twitch too. I guess I brought it up. I'll be streaming some more Newbie Nate Wrestling Empire, because everybody asks for that, and that's super fun. But yeah, check out my Twitter. I'm so happy to talk YouTube stuff and Twitch stuff with people on Twitter. Just ask me questions. I don't care. Throw questions at me, and if I got some time and I see that question, then I'll give you a piece of my mind and try to help you out as much as I can. I should stop rambling though, the room's getting hot and I got a whole lot of editing to do today. So until next time, have a nice day.